Yo, what's up, guys? Here's your Dome Marathon back again, and today we're going to talk about the rise of Ivan Vuletic. In my eyes, the best tower runner worldwide at the present time, even though Wei Qing is the world leading guy and some other guys as Watanabe are working hard. Ivan Vuletic is 23 years of age. With that said, all the other tower runners in their prime are a bit older, and some of them mid 30s or beyond 40, as Watanabe, as Fabio Ruga 44. I think they have reached their prime long ago and will now no longer improve. Wai Ching, on the other hand, of course, he will also no longer improve significantly because he has already reached his Plato phase, and that's it. Even though he will fight for a few couple of more years because he wants to make legacy. He was supposed to lead the world in tower running for at least 9 years to break the record of the Japanese guy as the best tower runner ever. But of course, you can measure that quality of tower running by leading the world standings alone. You also have to measure them by strength and quality and winning percentage and that kind of stuff, as for example Thomas Dold or Christian Riedel, who have won, or even Lobojinski, who were unstoppable in their prime. So there are many points to consider. However, as I said, Ivan Vuletic is 23 years old. Even though he's coming from triathlon, when he was in his teen years, he had an injury and could no longer do that sport, so he came to tower running as most of the other guys who have been pursuing another career in their past. But right now, Ivan Vuletic from Croatia, the Rocket, he's unstoppable below the height of around 50 floors and 1,000 steps or less, 1,200, 1,800. He is unstoppable. Every race that is shorter and smaller than 1,000 stairs, he is the favorite. He has won the Bucharest Skyrun versus Klaus Hausleitner and many other guys who are very strong in short distances. Fabio Ruga even. So Fabio Ruga is defeating Wai Ching over the longer and higher buildings. Watanabe is defeating Wai Ching. So all in all, you have to find an all-around best tower runner, which he is not by now. But I think if he works hard and keeps on working hard, he will be able to improve his position in the world. He has now slided down from 6 to 7, but that's insignificant because there's a moving up and down all the time. If he's moving 3-4 places up, that's something to mention, or 3 or 4 places down. But right now it's just some little movement. Ching low 2 places up. Maronovsky out of the top 10, as I mentioned, and the Malaysian guy up into 10th in the top 10. But he is holding so many records, and for example, the Zagreb Chanka in Croatia, Wai Ching was there, and Wai Ching was over 10 seconds slower than Ivan Vuletic's PR. So this only shows how strong he is over the short distances, and he has only now, around a month ago or a few weeks ago, started to work hard on the longer stuff. Has pulled out some weights and is climbing his block of 10 floors or whatever that is. I think it's 15 floors or even more in his hometown. He's carrying those weights of 10 kilograms or even more in one hand, in two hands, and he's doing significant hill work, which he didn't do in the past, seriously. So he's now really trying to gain some ground in regard to those other athletes over the higher buildings as Shanghai, Taipei, Warsaw Tower, and other stuff that is beyond 50 stories or 100 floors or 118 Merdeka, for example. So last year at the tour final in Shanghai, he was in 9th place overall. That's respectable, but it only shows that he was far away from competing with the top guys in the overall standings. And so I think this weekend is gonna be a whole different story because he's back to compete versus the best guys: Waiching, Watanabe, Fabio Rua, Emanuele Manzi, Paveru Sala, Benassam, Gerge Heimann, and who else there is, I don't know exactly, one or two, Mark Bourne. So it's everybody's in there, that top 10, except Klaus Hausleitner. So he has to prove now that he has improved over the longer distance, and I think he will, and he will definitely be ranked higher than 9th. I know that he cannot win that Shanghai Tower yet, but I think in the future he will be able to do so, and I think he might have a chance at competing for this very win next year already. So let's see about that, but I would say it takes a little bit longer to get into the number one in the world rankings because that requires traveling and being consistent in the higher buildings. But the world championship is only one shot. Of course, the more experienced guys have a better chance if it's only about one shot, but if it's about working towards that one shot and you are in your shape that is untouchable in comparison to the older guys, then the one shot they have won't help them much because Ivan is just the rocket. And if the rocket trains for the longer distances in the higher buildings, he will be unstoppable for many years. So let's follow this guy. Put an eye on him. Tour final Shanghai this Sunday. And we keep moving on from there. I will meet him again in Croatia, Zagrebčanka, and we will see how he evolves, but I'm sure he is the guy to follow right now. Peace out, your Dawn Marathon.